Om Vakratunga Mahakaya
Mahakaya
Surya Koti
Suryakothi
Samaprabha
Samaprabha
Nirvignam
Nirvignam Kuru Me
Kuru Me
Deva
Deva
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvakaryeshu
Sarvada
Sarvada Saraswati
Saraswati
Namastubhyam
Namastubhyam
Varade
Varade
Kamarupini
Kamarubini
Vidyarambam
Vidyarambam Karishyami
Karishyami Siddhir
Siddhir Me
Bhavatu Me
Sada
Sada Gurur Brahma
Guru Brahma
Gurur
Guru
Vishnu
Vishnu
Gurur
Guru
Devo
Devo
Maheshwaraha
Maheshwaraha
Guru
Guru
Sakshat
Sakshat
Param
Param
Brahma
Brahma
Tasmai
Tasmai
Shri
Shri Gurave
Gurave
Namaha
Namaha Om
Sahana
Sahana
Bhavatu
Bhavatu Sahano
Sahano
Bhunaktu
Bhunaktu
Sah
Sahaviryam
Viryam Karavavahe
Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma
Tejasvinavadhitamastama
vidvishavahe
Vidvishavahe
Om
Om
Shanti
Shanta Shanta
Shanti Shanti
Shanti Ata Dvitiyodhyayah
अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः
Arjuna Uvacha
अर्जुन उवाच
Arjuna responds to the whipping words of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna asked him, Kutastva Kashmalam Samupastitam Vishame Samupastitam. From where this Kashmalam, this Dukkam, this sorrow has come upon you, which is Anaryushta Asvargyam, Anaryam, Anaryushtam Asvargyam Akirtikaram, which brings dysphony, which doesn't bring any glory to the Arya Purusha, the noble man, to be a noble man. Klaibyam mas nagamapata, give up this unmanliness. Get up and fight. To these words, Arjuna responds by saying, how will I fight? How will I fight with Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya? Both are my gurus. They are Purga. They are worshipped. They deserve to be worshipped. They are worshipped. They were worshipped. I worship. I worship them, and they deserve to be worshipped always. So how can I kill them? How can I even think of enjoying the pleasures of the kingdom having killed them? So therefore, it is not out of fear, not out of cowardice. It is because they are the people whom I respect, revere. So how can I kill them? E Madhusudana, E Arisudana iti, indirectly telling Arjuna that you killed the demons, the enemies. But I am in a situation where I have to face my own people, and that to my gurus. Bhishmacharya also, in one way, guru only, because Arjuna learned many things, values, and Rajya, about Rajyam, the kingdom, about many things, Dharma, etc. So all these were taught by Bhishmacharya. And Dronacharya taught him archery. So both were gurus. Bhishmacharya is the Pitamaha. Dronacharya, Guru. Bhishmacharya also, since he taught him many things so that he can grow up to be a man. So therefore, both are gurus. Bhishma Acharya, Drona Acharya. In fact, we call Bhishma Acharya. Later also he taught. In fact, later means after the war, when Bhishma Charya was waiting for his departure. He taught Yudhishthira the glories of the Lord in the form of Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram. So, therefore, he taught. He is also a teacher. Therefore, Guru. Therefore, deserve to be worshipped. Further, Arjuna continues. Arjuna then expressed his confusion because he's confused what to do now. He doesn't know. So, therefore, being confused, then he says in the next verse, let us read that. This is also in Trishtup meter, Trishtup Chandas. Nachaitat vidmakhatarano gariyaha.
Tachaitadvitma katarano kariyaha.
Yadva jayema yadivano jayeyuhu.
Yadva jayema yadivano jayeyuhu.
Yane vahatva najijivishamaha.
Yane vahatva najijivishamaha.
Devastitav pramukhe dhartarashtraha.
Devastitha pramukhe dhartarashtra.
So his confusion is very clear in this shloka. Because na vidmaha, not only he says na vedmi, vidmaha he says, we don't know. Includes everybody. We don't know which one is better. What? That is, either they kill them, Kauravas kill us, or we kill them. Among them, which one is better? We should conquer them or they should conquer us. If we conquer them, if we destroy them, Kauravas, Duryodhana and his allies, his armies, then we would not be liking to continue to live. And we are facing them in the battle. What the situation is. So I am confused what to do now. He says, Naha is asmakam for us. Naha katarat naha gariyaha na vidmaha. Here naha is for us. Na is negative. No. So which is naha, which is na, they have to find out. Wherever that no is naha. Na is avyaya, no visarga there. No is naha. That padanta sakara becoming ru becoming visarga. That is no, that's what no is. Naha is for us, asmat shabda, aham abhamayam, mama abhavanam, asma naha. So this naha is there in Dvitiya Vibhakti Bhagavachanam, Shashti Vibhakti Bhagavachanam also naha is there, asmakam. So katarat, which of the two is better for us? We don't know. Na vidmaha. Here nacha vidmaha. Here na is avyaya. Yadva, whether jayema, we conquer them. Vayam jayema, va na jayayugu, te jayayugu, or they conquer us, naha. So here naha is, first naha is Shashti Vibhakti, and here is Dhartarashtraha, naha jayayugu, they should conquer Dvitiya Vibhakti Bhagavachanam. So depending on the context, we have to take what Vibhakti, what Vachanam. Whether we should conquer them or they should conquer us. We should kill them or they should kill us. Then he says, if we kill them, Atva, having killed them, Najiji Vishamaha, here also Na is a negative, this is Abhiya. We would not be desiring to live. Najiji Vishamaha. Killing whom? Dhartarashtraha, and we are standing right in front of them. Dhartarashtraha, Dhritarashtrasya putraha, Duryodhanadayaha, Vastitaha, we are right in front of them in the battle, therefore confused. What? We don't know. I am confused. And we don't know which of the two will be better for us, that we should conquer them or that they should conquer us. The sons of Dhritarashtra, after saying whom, we will indeed not want to live, stand facing As they stand facing us. Killing whom we would not like to live, they face us in the battle. We face them in the battle. In this verse, Arjuna told Krishna that he did not know which was better. That shows his confusion. To win the battle against the enemies, if they are enemies, then there will not be confusion. Here, the enemies happen to be his own kith and kin. Therefore, the confusion. To win the battle against the enemies, who are his own people, are to be defeated by them. Because his own people, therefore, they are not enemies. Iti Arjuna thinks. Therefore, only the confusion. Regardless of who was victorious, whoever be the victorious, whoever wins the war, the problem would remain. To be victorious, Arjuna had to destroy all these people. He would have the pleasures of the kingdom, but would be unable to enjoy them. Why? Because the thought of having killed our own kith and kin, the Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, this will continue to disturb Arjuna. Therefore, he says, we would not be able to enjoy them, unable to enjoy them. For Arjuna, then the choice was meaningless because Krishna was telling him to get up and fight. He was confused about how the victory could be good for him. If, on the other hand, Duryodhana won, the Pandavas would have to go to the forest and live the life of a bhikshu. Although this lifestyle was arduous and there would be no enjoyments, Arjuna thought that it was definitely the better of the two alternatives. So, therefore, he is mentally preparing for sannyasa. Sannyasa not out of vairagya, sannyasa out of disappointment, rejection in the war. Therefore, only in the subsequent chapters, we ask questions frequently on sannyasa. And Krishna doesn't recommend also, unless the person becomes mature. So he said that the Pandavas did not want to live by destroying the sons of Dhritarashtra. And those connected to them, Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, all are teachers, revered. They deserve to be respected, revered, respected, and so on. All of whom were standing in front of him on the battlefield. He called the war a no-win situation. It would be one big loss, and he had no interest in it. But Krishna had told him that what he was thinking of doing was wrong. Therefore, Arjuna argued that whether it was wrong or right, the situation was such that he could not see anything good coming to him from fighting. This was the answer. This was the response. Further he continues. He didn't stop. Further he says, now the next shloka is an important shloka. Now Arjuna, having understood his position, that is not that he knows this is a problem. He recognizes a problem. The problem is in the war to be fought with his own kith and kin. Therefore, he got confused, not knowing what to do. He recognized his helplessness. He recognized he himself cannot solve this problem. Then, when a problem cannot be solved by oneself, the next step, the intelligent step, should be asking for help from the informed person. Asking help, seeking help is intelligence. And here, in this shloka, the following shloka is going to ask that. Arjuna is going to ask. Very important shloka. Up to, before the shloka, the seventh shloka, what we are going to see. The relationship between Krishna and Arjuna, it was different. Friendship. There was friendship. Now, after this shloka, it is no more friendship. Friendship, maybe it will be there, but the relationship will become Guru-Shishya Sambandha, Guru-Shishya relationship. The Mitra Krishna will become Guru Krishna. The Mitra Arjuna will become Shishya Arjuna for Krishna, Sri Krishna. So therefore, the transformation, what happens in the mind of Arjuna is beautifully revealed in the following shloka. Very important shloka. Because of this shloka, because of this transformation happened in Arjuna, therefore only Gita teaching. Arjuna surrenders and offers at the feet of Krishna, telling him, please accept me as your disciple and teach and instruct me what to do. Please advise me. Therefore, the Gita starts. So therefore, this is an important shloka. Very clearly divides the shlokas before and shlokas coming after. Before there is no Upadesha. Now Upadesha will come. So transition shloka. From this shloka onwards, there will be a transition. Of course, not immediately. 8th shloka, 10th shloka, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th shloka onwards, teaching starts. The Gita starts. Let us read. Then Arjuna explained himself further. We'll read the shloka. Karpanyadoshopahatas svabhavah
Karpanyadoshopahatas svabhavah
Prachami tvam dharma sammudhachetah
Prachami tvam dharma sambudhachetah
Yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhit tanme
Yashreyasyanishthitham prahitam me
Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam
Shishyastheham shadimam tvaprapanam
Aham prichami tvam prichami, I ask you. I dharma sammuda chetaha, confused about what to do, what is to be done. Dharma, swadharma, mama dharma, the yuddha, my duty. I who am confused ask you. I who am upahata svabhavaha, doshopahata svabhavaha, has been hit, has been upahata, struck by, has been struck by dosha, the defect. What is the defect? Karpanya dosha. Kripanasya bhavaha karpanya, the faint-heartedness, karpanya, the confusion. Karpanya dosha, because the karpanya dosha, that karpanya is faint-heartedness, that is because of confusion. So I am overcome by this karpanya dosha, the defect of faint-heartedness. That is, he doesn't have the strength now. He doesn't have the strength to fight, not physical, mental strength. Faint-heartedness. So therefore I ask you, what? Yat shreyaha syat tat nishchitam bruhi. Which is good for me? Which is good for us? Please tell very clearly, firmly. I am confused, therefore I don't want a confused answer. Please tell me for sure, definitely, what is good for? What is good for me? What should I do now? Should I stay in the battle and fight, or should I get back and go to Rishikesh, live a life of a Viksha, sannyasa? That is what Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme. That is Shreya, which is good for me. And he says, Agam te shishyaha, I am your disciple. Not Agam na te mitram, shishyaha. The mitra Arjuna has become Shishya Arjuna. Mam Shadi. Shadi means teach. Mam Atyapayatu. Please teach me. Tvam Prapanam, I surrender to you. Surrender. This is what surrender. Surrender to the Guru, wanting to know. Asking the Guru to the teacher. That is Prapanam, surrender. So therefore Arjuna surrenders. So this is a surrendering shloka. Because he surrendered. Who can surrender? Only the student can surrender to the teacher. As a friend, he cannot surrender. Friend are of equal. friendship between people of equal status, equal knowledge, there is equality. But when it becomes a Guru Shishya, Guru is informed person, Shishya wants to know. So knowledge transfer happens from the Guru to the Shishya. Therefore, there is the Taratamya is the difference is there. So therefore, you have to surrender. If you want to know, you have to surrender. Therefore, he says, Aham tava shishyaha te shishyaha iti. Overcome by faint-heartedness, karpanya dosha, the defect of that faint-heartedness, that is the loss of mental strength, karpanya dosha. The power, the strength is now for temporarily it is lost. And that because confused about my duty. Therefore, I who am confused about my duty, therefore I ask you which is better, which is definitely better. Nishchitam Shreyaha for me, please teach me, tell me. I am your student, Tava Shishyaha, I am your disciple. Shishyaha, Shasana Yogyaha Shishyaha. Student is one who deserves to be taught. So it is not by saying become Shishya, but here Arjuna really becomes Shishya. Krishna understands that, therefore only he accepts him as a Shishya. He didn't say, no, you are my friend, how can I accept you as my friend? He didn't say that. When Arjuna says, I am a student, Arjuna knows, Krishna knows Arjuna will surrender. Krishna knows already he would surrender. He will come to the point where he would ask, he will find no solution, ask for help. Therefore, when Arjuna says, I am a student, please teach me, who has taken refuge in you, then how can Krishna deny it? Yes, surrender completely to Krishna. Now Krishna is Guru. He is Bhagavan Krishna. So now the words which will be coming out from this, it's not that coming from the ordinary Krishna, it is Bhagavan Krishna. Therefore, now one word it is Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Even before also, Vyasacharya uses Shri Bhagavan Uvacha only. But as Bhagavan, now Bhagavan and he happens to be the Guru also. So Arjuna Uvacha is Shishya Uvacha and Bhagavan Uvacha, Guru Uvacha is going to be Vakyas of the Guru. Now the next shloka, he also further he continues. Who Arjuna? Let us read that also. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad yacchokamuchchoshanamindriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnamriddham rajyam suranamapi chadhipatyam. The next shloka, there he says, Nahi prapashyami, I don't see what? I don't see anything that would mama apanudyat shokam uchchoshanam indriyanam, that dukkha which burns up my indriyas, which are frying, which are drying my senses. That shoka, how to quench it, I don't know. I don't know how to remove it. I don't know how to remove the sorrow, the dukkha, which dries up my senses. I don't know the means. Havapya bhumo vasapatana vriddham. Even if I gain the kingdom on earth, which is without enemies, even the kingdom Suranam, Deva kingdom, Devanam, Suranam Apichadipatyam, even the kingdom of the Devas, Suranam Adipati, even I become the kingdom of the Devaloka. Whether I become if I get the kingdom of this earth, even that of the Surgaloka also, Devaloka also, but I don't find any means for the removal of this dukkha, which drives my senses. What is the point in having the kingdom which gives all the pleasures? All the pleasures it will give, but I won't be able to enjoy because I'm inflicted with pain. So I don't know the means to remove the pain. Therefore, he says, Nahi prapashyami. I don't see anything that will remove the sorrow. That dries up my senses. Uchchoshana, indriyana. Even if I were to obtain an unrivaled, prosperous kingdom, Umov asapatana mriddam rajyam, and sovereignty over the denizens of citizens, even the Devaloka also, even if I become the king of Devaloka, then also what is the use? Because I don't see the means to remove the sorrow by which I am afflicted, which dries up my senses. So therefore, he says, therefore, I surrender unto you. Please teach me what to do. We will look at the second of these two verses first. Anyway, here, these both shlokas are read together. Anyway, we have seen the meaning. We will look at the second of these two verses first. Here, Arjuna described how his sorrow had dried up his sense organs so that they could not function. Sidanti mama gatrani mutam cha parishishyati, Arjuna said in the first chapter. My senses are sidanti mama gatrani. My body parts are falling apart. They are losing its strength. I am not able to stand. The hairs on my body stands on end. And so all these says that I am completely become paralyzed. Senses do not function. His arms and legs also seem to have atrophied. The energy in them had been totally sapped by this incapacitating sorrow. That is, when dukkham becomes severe, becomes severe, then the mind which is affected, when the mind is affected, indriyas cannot function. Indriyas function only when backed up by the mind. When the mind becomes incapacitated, when the mind is incapacitated due to sorrow, what will happen to the sense organs? They cannot function without the mind, without the backing up mind. So therefore, they also lose the strength. Nor could he see any way of removing it. How to remove the pain? I don't see any means, any way. Therefore, even if he found the courage to fight, because Krishna said, because of the words of Krishna, even if somehow we find some courage to fight, because of his commitment to dharma, and because Krishna asked him to fight, Arjuna did not think his sorrow would ever go away. He saw it as something inside of himself, a sorrow that cannot be alleviated. In fact, only the sad becomes sad. No one suddenly becomes sad. Just as the angry become angry, the sad becomes sad. If you're already angry inside, all that requires is a reason to become angry. You need a reason to trigger that anger. Similarly, the jealous become jealous and the lonely become lonely. Therefore, these feelings indicate there is a problem already there underneath. So, sadness, anger, all these are the intrinsic problem. If already problem is there, it is invoked. Only the conducive situation required to invoke. Then the person becomes that. So Arjuna becomes sad means a sad only can become sad. A samsari only can become a samsari. Sadness, samsara. Anger, samsara. Jealous, samsara. So samsari only is a samsari. It's a samsari. Continue to be a samsari. Can become a samsari. It is already samsara, what to become. That is the samsara in the form of this feeling the pain and therefore the sorrow. They are indications of samsara. One is happy at least that point. One is happy due to something. At least that point is free from sadness. So There is a temporary relief from samsara, the dukkha. But that is only for a short time. Again, sorrow comes because it is intrinsic to that person. It has not intrinsic means that it has become intrinsic. It is not really intrinsic. That is what the Shastram says. Shastram says, you are Ananda Swarupaha. How can be a sad Swarupa? Because sadness is therefore samsara, therefore we say samsari, samsara, samsari. And it is removable permanently. That is only by knowledge. That is the teaching. So here, Arjuna became sad. It means sadness is there. Arjuna suffers from samsara. So far, he had not discovered problem. Now he had discovered. Got a chance, occasion to discover the problem in the middle of the battlefield. Therefore, Arjuna recognized an inner unwept sadness and felt sad. That is samsara. Recognizing the problem of samsara. That is the first step into the spiritual journey. If one recognizes this problem, then naturally that the spiritual journey starts. But most of the people, they don't recognize. They don't have time to recognize the samsara. Sometimes the sadness that is underneath comes out. Otherwise, it always remains hidden there. In between the bouts of sadness that come out, there is some laughter, not because of your effort, but in spite of it. Sadness seems to be something that is identical with the person. That's why I say it is as though intrinsic to the person. As though intrinsic, not really intrinsic. We cannot say intrinsic. So it is Swabhavika, Swarupa, we cannot say. It is not, it is removable. It goes away. If one really wants to remove it. Arjuna concluded that even gaining an unrivaled kingdom on earth, that would not allay his sorrow, alleviate his sorrow, reduce his sorrow. A kingdom is usually surrounded by enemies, making it a rivaled kingdom, meaning that its ruler cannot sleep peacefully. This is like having a nice house which you cannot enjoy because it is in an inimical neighborhood. Similarly, in a kingdom that all the rivals want to occupy and go on encroaching upon one fellow, one fellow nibbles away at the east, while another nibbles away at the west. This continual encroachment, this nibbling, makes the ruler of the kingdom miserable. Therefore, in order to be happy, a ruler must have a kingdom that is unrivaled, no enemies. No enemies, the kingdom without enemies. Therefore, is the ultimate ruler. No enemies. The whole world belongs to this person. Unrivaled kingdom. Even by being the emperor of an empire, this could not be accomplished. What this means to alleviate the sorrow. Arjuna knew. There can be such severe drought and poverty in an empire that people will begin to eat each other, or at least will be ready to do so. Arjuna saw his situation in this way. Dharma is very difficult to follow when a man is hungry and continues to be hungry. Eventually, he will begin to compromise his dharma in order to relieve his hunger. The ruler of a kingdom is no different, except that he must become a national beggar. If you are the head of the family, you have to beg for the whole family. Not a big problem. However, if you are the ruler of a whole nation and its citizens are hungry, you must go to UNESCO and America to plead for assistance. A kingdom which is poor is not a happy kingdom. And if it is prosperous, rivals definitely will be there. Having commented on earthly kingdoms, Arjuna then extended his thinking to the kingdom of the gods. Deva Swaranamapi Chadipatyam. I don't see that even ruling the kingdom of heaven will enable me to cross this sorrow, he said. Arjuna saw his mind as having been destroyed by karpanya, miserliness. Kripanasya bhavaga karpanya. It's a dosha, it's a defect. A person who has no money and doesn't spend is practical. Whereas one who has no money but spends is not. Neither is a miser. A miser is one who has money and will not spend it. He or she is always waiting for retirement, which is not related to a job, but to the time when he can no longer take care of himself. Always worrying about who will take care of him, he keeps his money for later. If he does fall ill, he still hangs on to it out of his concern for a more serious illness later. Then when he dies, his brother-in-law gets everything. Such a person is a miser. Miser is the one who has money, doesn't spend for valid basis. That person is a miser. So the word for miser in Sanskrit is kripana. Kripanasya bhavaha is karpanya. So this karpanya, that is a dosha. Bhagavan has given this manusya shariram. And that manusya shariram is meant for, manusya shariram is meant to work for moksha, meant to work to become free from samsara. Having got the shariram, this human body, if a person doesn't work for it, then he's a miser only. He has money, doesn't spend. He has this wealth, the shariram, the buddhi Bhagavan has given, doesn't use it. Therefore, what is he? If a person having money doesn't spend, he's a miser. Person has this, that's Manisha, he has this shariram, body is there, body, mind is there, everything is intact, highly functional. Doesn't use for gaining the end moksha. He doesn't use for solving the problem of samsara. Then he is a miser. Such a person is a miser. So, therefore, miser doesn't spend on himself or others. Is an unfortunate, very unfortunate person, like a child holding on to all of his toys. He is immature. He doesn't know himself and dies not knowing. The Bhagavad Upanishad talks about a kripana, a miser, from another standpoint. That is the standpoint I told. It describes the person leaving this world without gaining the knowledge of Atma. That person is a miser. The one who leaves the world without gaining the knowledge of Atma, Atma Jnanam Vina, Yaha Asmat Lokat Praiti, Saha Kripanaha, is a miser. Why? Because the wealth which have been given to him, he had not used. Shariram. It says, Yova Yadadaksharam Gargi Aviditva Asman Lokat Preti Saha Panaha. O Gargi, the one who departs from this world without knowing this immutable one, Atma, Etad Aksharam, Naksharati Aksharam, Aksharam Atma, is a kripana, is a miser. The real wealth of a human being is more than external wealth. It is knowing that what is real and what is unreal, what is right and what is wrong, viveka. This wealth distinguishes a human being from all other beings. The one who has this viveka is not a kripana, whereas the one who doesn't have it naturally holds on to things which have no real content because his or her value structure is confused. Arjuna is referring to this kind of miserliness when he says that he has been overcome by karpanya. So kripana is the one, according to Bhagavad Upanishad, Shastram is kripana is one who holds on to dharmartha kama purushartha so tightly. He doesn't see moksha as a purushartha at all. That person is a kripana. So his whole structure is the priority, the value structure is the confused one. That person is called a kripana. And the dosha, the defect is karpanya. Arjuna now saw that although he had opportunities to do so, he had not made proper use of his mind. Otherwise, he would not have had this problem, and knowing what was right and wrong would have been easy. Otherwise, he would not have had this problem, and knowing what was right and wrong would have been easy. He knew he could only decide this when he was not in the very concept of right and wrong. He had to know a little more than dharma and adharma in order to decide about right and wrong. When right and wrong itself is an issue, it cannot be resolved by one whose mind is deluded with reference to right and wrong. When viveka is stultified, then how can one distinguish and understand what is right, what is dharma, what is wrong, what is adharma? Therefore, because he knew something more was needed, Arjuna asked Krishna to tell him what was best for him. Yat shreyaha tat nishchitam me brugi. He wanted Krishna to teach him, which is more than dharma, adharma. Anyata dharma, anyatra asmat. This is Kathopanishad. As Panchiketa asked Dharmaraja, you teach me that which is above dharma, above adharma. Two pursuits are open to a person, Shreyas and Preyas. Again, this is Kathopanishad. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametah Tausam Paritya Vivinati Dhiraha Shreyo Margaha Preyo Margaha. Shreyo Margaha is moksha, that the commitment is moksha. So all the other pursuits, they subserve the moksha purushartha. So that commitment, that aim, the goal is moksha. The lifestyle is arranged in such a way that the person works for moksha and all the other things fall in place to support him for moksha. That is Shreyas. Preyas is after pleasure. The person is after pleasure. Therefore, he works for dharma, artha, kama, for security and pleasures, for money and all these sukham. Shreyas and Preyas. Two pursuits are open to a person. Shreyas is something that is good for all, something that is above dharma and adharma. Whereas Preyas is a result of dharma. Any good action produces a result for you, such as prosperity, pleasure, and so on. Shreyas is other than this, more than this. It is moksha. Therefore, Arjuna asked, please teach me Shreyas alone. Shreyaha Dhruvi. Krishna could have said, why should I teach you? I came here to drive your chariot and you are asking me to teach. That was not the original contract. I said I would drive. I told you I would not fight. I did not tell you that I would teach. You wanted me to drive your chariot and I accepted. Now you are asking your driver to teach you. Am I after all your driver, a chalaka? You are asking me to teach. But Krishna responded in this way because Arjuna was telling him something that he had never told him before. What was that? He was saying, I am your student. Agam tava shishyaha, not mitram, shishyaha. If someone tells you that he is your student, you have to decide whether he deserves to be a shishya or not. Whether you will be his guru, his or her guru, is something for you to decide. Thus, Arjuna left it in Krishna's hands. He seems to say, the ball is in your court. Court now, hey Krishna, you do whatever you like, I don't care, but I am your shishya. Up to now, Arjuna had not told Krishna that he was a student. That is why Krishna had not taught him so far. Only for the asking is the teaching given. Last class I told, na prishtaha kasyachit bruyat. When not asked, the teaching should not be given. Only for the asking, the teaching is given. And Arjuna had never asked for it. Although he had asked for variety of things. He asked for himself to be Krishna to come as a driver, and Krishna accepted. So he asked for other things. Many times, many occasions, he asked for some other help, other things. He had never asked for this knowledge. He never told that I am your student. He had asked him to come and drive his chariot, which Krishna did, but he had never asked him to teach. What does it mean to be a student, a shishya? Very important topic. Shishyastegam Shadimantam Rapanam, that we will continue in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.